The sun rose and set like any other day, but this day was different, as people of the world were about to find out. This day would be remembered for eternity.
So I met this girl yesterday. 35, young chick, you know?
Nice.
Real cute. And let me tell you something. She's got the biggest fucking ass, man.
Woo! Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Black or Spanish?
No, she's white.
Nice.
Yeah, white.
Nice.
Long legs, man.
That's the way I like 'em.
Ooh, yep, me too.
Last chick I dated, Spanish girl.
Spanish girl?
You believe that? Right?
You like Spanish chicks? Oh shit, I thought you didn't.
Who would have figured, right? You know, she would wrap those things around me, and it was like dating an octopus.
Oh shit.
Once she had me, she never let go. Not that I cared, you know, she was just tremendous. But here's the important question.
What's that?
How is the rack?
Oh man, she's got a pow!
Yeah, baby.
You put your face in that shit, it's like
Like a motorboat, man.
unbelievable, man. But one problem.
Problem? How could there be a problem?
I'm telling you, man, she sounds like fucking Minnie Mouse when she talks.
Me?
What's that Donald Duck?
What difference does it make? A mouse, duck? Who could With a voice like that, she better be good in bed.
You two are a couple of idiots, you know that?
I thought you were sleeping.
How can I sleep when you two morons are talking shit?
Believe this chick. Hey, you know, since you're up, Tony and I are kind of hungry. Why don't you hop your little ass into the kitchen and make us something to eat?
Fuck you!
Can you believe this chick? If she wasn't my sister, I'd smack her.
Hey, feel free, go ahead.
What? Gail!
You gotta see this.
What movie are you watching?
This is no movie. This is live.
Thus, with man's inability to show love or give love, the earth became extinct. Was it an act of God, or is this how it was always meant to be?
The fuck was that? Somebody should tell Nick to make his own damn sandwich. Oh, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 14 of the drunkenly critically acclaimed, soon-to-be award-winning John Sawyer Show, airing live right here on Strong Island TV. You're not going to say nothing?
Well, usually introduce me.
Well, say hi.
It'd be nice if you could just have the common courtesy to introduce your co-host.
Be patient.
Well, if you turn to me, you're like, you're not going to say nothing?
I'll let you do the intro.
I don't want to do the intro.
All right, fine.
Not my job.
If you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, we thank you. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, we thank you. If you don't have Facebook, you must not be from the 21st century. And if you don't have the TuneIn Radio app, you can get it right now on the App Store and Google Play. Just download the app for free. Search Strong Island Radio in the search engine. And as long as you have us marked down as one of your favorites, you can listen to us on the go every single week. You already know who I am. This is my co-host, the quite manly Mr. Evil Joe himself, Joe Herb. How are you?
I'm good. See, that was better. That was a nice introduction right there.
Shut up. Stop looking at porn on your computer. We're live.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
All right.
Oh, wait, is that Nia Jax? Hold on. No, you can take over. No.
You do have a thing for the bigger girls.
Apparently.
She's cute, though. She's good looking.
Yeah. All right, you're getting me all focused here. God damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We'd like to thank all of you once again for tuning in this week. How's your week been going? Well, how was your weekend leading into this week?
Oh, it's all right.
Nothing
Very
new,
relaxing.
Nothing new coming up?
No, not really.
Anything on the Fire JBL situation?
From what I understand, WWE has come to an agreement to fully release Mauro Ranallo at this point. He has come back and started doing some MMA broadcasts, and will soon, I believe, be doing some pro wrestling events.
And Bradshaw still has a job.
Bradshaw still has a job. No repercussions there at all.
Well, what can you do?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it could be that someone stooged off that information, or it could be just made up stuff on the internet. None of us really know what goes on there except the people there. So I wouldn't exactly rely on the dirt. And I'm not saying we as in me and you. I'm talking the fans watching right now who are avid wrestling fans, as some of you might be. I wouldn't exactly rely on the dirt sheets for accurate information.
Well, the facts that we do know is that JBL on air said some disparaging remarks against Mauro.
Well, I'm not taking away that this is a true story.
Right.
I know it's a true story.
And the fact that also Mauro did take that time off dealing with his bipolar depression.
All right,
that we do know for a fact.
No, I'm just saying.
Obviously, you're right. Any backstage stuff,
yeah, like whatever happened to the days of professional wrestling where the people who watched the product didn't give a flying fuck about the politics and what goes on backstage. All they cared about was what went on in the ring during the shows.
The internet happened.
Yes. Yeah. So video killed the radio star and the internet killed pro wrestling.
Pretty much.
What's going to kill broadcasting, I wonder?
It's an excellent question.
That's a very excellent question, because we're seeing now.
When we have computers that can do our shows for us. They tried, actually, now that I think about it. If you remember a station, it's not around in New York anymore, I know they still have it out in Missouri because I was listening to it when I was out there. A station called Jack FM. The whole point of the station was no hosts. The whole thing was they just put in a playlist and let the computer do its work. And they had like a voice that would come on once in a while and be like, "You're listening to Jack FM." It ran for a while in New York. The reason it is no longer around is because New York listeners wanted the people to talk.
Exactly.
It is still around in some places. As I said, Missouri still has it.
Well, hopefully it will be a whole nother century or two before, that actually happens. Like,
Yeah.
Like, hopefully it'll get to the point where, we're gone from this earth by the time that actually happens. Because it would suck to lose your job to a fucking piece of machinery,
Yeah.
And that speaks as well to anybody in the working field, in or out of show business. But I digress. Phone lines are open. You can call us at 516-945-9099. Again, the number is 516-945-9099. Not only that, but we are also on Skype. If you wish to make a Skype video call and show your pretty face on the program along with these two pretty faces, you can do so by looking up StrongIsland.com on the Skype app, which I believe is available for free. I could be wrong. On
Not
the
sure
App
about
Store or
that.
Google
I
Play.
use Skype.
Look up Strong.
Technology beyond me.
Look up StrongIsland.com on the Skype app or simply type in the call-in number, which is, once again, 516-945-9099. Enough of the hassles and horse shit. It's time to get to our guest of the evening. If in the opening of the broadcast, you saw Dolphin Pictures' The Night Sky, presented by Dolphin Pictures. Film I was lucky to be casted in this past summer and released early this past February. Our guest tonight is one of the lead roles from the film. We have a call already. Look at this. You're interrupting me. Oh, well. Hello.
Hi, I'd like to get on the air, please.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Bobby.
Oh, Jesus. You again? Hang up.
Bobby
Hang up.
Green,
Hang up. Hang up.
the champion of Long Island.
Hang up. You again, scumbag? Jesus. Stay home.
He is
All right.
staying home. That's the
Phone
problem.
lines are not open for this broadcast, and neither are the Skype lines. So, Bobby Dream impersonator, go fuck yourself. Now on to our guest
It's
of
been
the
a while since we've heard from him.
Well, still, what's he doing? He should be finding a job. Seriously, what's he doing using his mom's phone to call into the show and pretend he's somebody else? Seriously. Okay. Our guest tonight, he will be featured in the upcoming film House on Hilltop Drive, which will be coming soon. His recent release, Trent and Isabella, also released by Dolphin Pictures, will be released on Facebook exclusively this June. And this summer, he will be in a number of live theater productions at the South Shore Theater Experience. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Greg Halverson.
How you doing,
are
guys?
Good.
Great to be here.
Good. We were surprised that you found it quite easy to locate this place, while others were quite lost on the express again here.
We get that like every couple of weeks. Someone comes in and they're like, "No, didn't find the place."
Didn't Requiem have an issue finding the spot?
I think so. Yeah. She did. And I remember Patrick when we first started the show.
Yeah,
had trouble finding it the first week.
Oh my God, Patrick! We had we had a third co-host with us, Patrick, who's no longer with us. But not that he passed; he just isn't working here anymore.
we future endeavored him.
Yeah, we featured and that we gave him the Johnny Laurinaitis stuff to do. But yeah, he used to have such trouble finding this building, and like we would do live pre-show broadcasts on the Facebook page, and he would come strolling in at the very end of the broadcast, like, "Okay, time to work," and we're like, "Dude, you should have been here earlier."
I mean, the directions you gave are pretty simple. You know, you find the CVS and around the corner. I mean, how hard can that be?
And I think he was even using like GPS to get here.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Could you ever imagine today's generation reading a roadmap book?
nope.
You know, I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, forget it. They would
Like I remember growing up going on trips. We had the big Rand McNally United States Atlas just to go to upstate New York.
I've had in my head this, because reality TV is such a big deal.
Right.
You put like 20,
Even though it doesn't pay.
You put like a whole bunch of young kids in a house, call it the 70s house, and they have to survive using 70s technology.
That's actually a fantastic concept.
Right? Yeah. 5 channels, no microwave ovens, regular phones. Maybe put like a Brady Bunch thing. Put a payphone on the wall.
Oh my God! They'd have to walk across the room to change the channel.
Exactly. No cable. Put some rabbit ears on the TV and have competitions. And each winner gets to use modern technology for one day. Mm-hmm. Then they have to pick it whether it's a cell phone or a PlayStation 4. You put a Pong game in there or an Atari and. I mean, I think that's a winner.
I actually like that idea. That's a really good idea.
That's a winner as far as I'm concerned. I would even watch it, and I hate reality TV.
Yeah. I hate all these shows.
I can't stand it.
Like when the Apprentice became a hot thing, I never understood that. A game show where first prize is a job,
right?
Right, and the second place is jury duty,
right?
Then there was the Jersey Shore, and I never. I mean, I do like what's her name, the taller one on the Jay something.
JWoww?
JWoww, yeah. She was the most decent looking one on the show, so
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, so I did like her, and the fact that she's a Long Island girl actually made her more interesting, but the other ones like Squeaky.
What?
You mean Snooky?
Whatever. I call her Squeaky.
Being half Italian, I was...
Doesn't that show insult you?
So insulted by that, and my Italian is deeply submerged in a Norwegian exterior. But I was really insulted by that show. I think it was a disgrace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
I remember seeing, I talked about this off camera. I remember the 2 Jersey Shore episodes that I saw at all. One was at the regular house, and one they were in Italy somewhere at this like stone like mansion. And I guess tourists, would pay to, stay in. But they're at the regular house, and Squeaky finds this little crab. I'm sorry, Snooky finds this crab on the beach.
Wasn't Squeaky in the Manson family? Squeaky from? Maybe that's what.
Well, they look the same.
Similar.
She finds this live crab, like a live full-grown crab on the beach, and she decides to bring it home and make it her pet or something like that. So, how in most reality shows you see them have their cutaways, and it's like they're talking in an interview setting, like, well, this happened and whatever, right? So she's on camera like, I don't know what to feed crabs. I thought just give them worms. So she's outside in the yard picking up worms from the ground like here, and the crab's just not doing anything. And then they end up cooking the crab later on in the show. So she's sitting there with the fucking, the napkin and the knife and fork crying while eating the crab. Like, it's so sad what she did to this. Well, that's not that bad.
I mean, if that could get on TV, anybody can get on TV.
Yeah,
let's face it.
And then the other one I saw, the saturation and one of the bigger
You mean the situation?
The situation. The saturation. I've never watched it, even though I even know that his name is the saturation. That's great.
Him and Ronnie.
Oh, you got one right.
It's the only name I got right. Because I ran into Ronnie at an independent show. Quick story, he was somebody's ride to and from the building. So in the middle of a 100-degree crowded sports complex where like there was barely any room to walk, there's this dude, no shirt, cargo shorts, and flip-flops, jogging to the dressing room and back like he's, doing laps. I'm like, you have nothing but, like, you're inside. Go outside. Go to the beach. You would
just terrible, I mean.
Yeah, but
let's just put it this way: the days of shows like Friends and stuff are long gone. I mean,
yeah. But the story I was getting to with those two, they were getting into a screaming match over something, and they were about to come to blows, and the saturation just runs.
He said it again.
What's his first name? What's his
Mike.
Name? Mike. Okay.
Mike is his real name.
Okay, so all right,
that's great.
So Mike ends up running face first into a stone wall, knocking himself out right before the fight even happened.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
So the big dude's like helping him up, like, bro, you okay? Like he's starting to calm down a bit, like, what's wrong? And Mike's like, no, fuck that, let's go. Knocks himself out again. So no actual fights happen, just stupid shit, like that happened,
See, I watched 2 episodes of it just because I wanted to see Snooki get punched in the face.
That happened.
Yeah, in the first season.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
But granted, she was
totally not even her fault either. Like I was totally expecting it to be like something where she mouthed off to someone. She really didn't say much of anything.
She did mouth off to someone.
Not to be worth getting punched in the face over.
She walked away. Some dude ended up sitting in her seat by accident. She comes walking over like, "Hey, you're in my fucking seat."
Right, but then no, it was over. It was over. She went back to her friends, and the guy came over and punched her in the face.
Oh wow, I don't remember this. All right, well, enough of them. What were some of your favorite shows growing up? Like, what would you consider television classics?
Three's Company.
Okay,
It's a good one.
Happy Days, and rest in peace, Aaron Moran. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Oh,
passed
yeah.
away.
I know.
All in the Family. I mean, forget about it. You couldn't even do a show like that.
Do you
today.
have a favorite Archie Bunker moment?
Yeah, there's one where he's on TV talking about gun control and how he would stop terrorists from, hijacking planes, and he's got his hair slicked back, and it's absolutely the funniest 5 or 6 minutes of pure lunacy I can ever remember watching on television. All in the Family is just classic stuff.
Yep.
At home, my father would sometimes have All in the Family playing on the TV, so I would occasionally watch it with him. And I remember seeing one where he's in a courthouse getting trialed for something. I think it was a speeding ticket, and it turns out he didn't even have. He didn't do anything to earn himself a speeding ticket. The cop was just being a total dick. So the cop who's in the suit at the other table, gets ridiculed by the judge. Sir, you should be ashamed of yourself. This man did nothing wrong to get the ticket. And Archie looks at him like, "You're not that smart, are you?"
And I mean, is there any funnier moment when Sammy Davis Jr. kisses Archie Bunker?
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, that is just epic television, beyond a shadow of that.
That and when he tries to read from the Bible at Thanksgiving table. It says here in Lucas 2 verse 3.
just brilliant TV. You think of '80s TV, Cosby Show.
He's really come under fire now. For that.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a fall from grace. I mean, Bill Cosby. I mean, this guy was America's dad.
And you
in the
would
80s.
think the one guy who a lot of people thought had the most integrity and responsibility for himself is going out and doing these things for the past number of years.
Yep, I know.
I know somebody who works the comedy circuit doing stand up. He got booked to do some club that Bill Cosby was at the night before. And he was in town that night, so the promoter asked if he wanted to come to the dressing room and say hi to Bill. So he goes, "Oh, okay." And he goes online and he looks up what type of cigars he likes and what type of wine he likes, because he wanted to, be completely respectful to him. So he goes into the dressing room like, "Hello, Mr. Cosby. It's an honor to meet you. I brought you, these gifts. Hope you're enjoying your time in this town." He takes the gifts, goes into the other corner of the room, doesn't even say hello, thank you, doesn't even look him in the face.
Wow, jeez.
Yeah.
Talk about someone that's obviously so much different than the character he portrayed on
Right.
television.
Oh yeah, and I think that's something that happens a lot is people associate the person with the character they played on TV.
Exactly.
Like you look at Bob Saget on Full House.
Yeah.
And it was 8 years of one of the most wholesome shows on television.
And then you hear a stand-up
and
and
it's like the
really
raunchiest
raunchy.
stuff.
Yeah.
The raunchiest stuff you'll ever hear.
I never got his stand-up. To be
I never
honest.
figured out Full House, so
Yeah,
I guess
me
I
neither.
guess we're even in that.
I did see, however, the Bob Saget roast.
I heard about it, never saw it.
One of the best line of the roast, this comic itself, I think it was Jeff Ross. He looks at Bob and goes, "You know how the Olsen twins took acting lessons? Bob would tell him, act like this never happened." She'd say, "You got it, dude."
And I'll tell you another thing that I used to love watching back in the day was on Saturday mornings on Channel 9, WWF. Mm-hmm. For the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. Back up in Poughkeepsie, New York. I mean, that was, those days with, Bruno Sammartino, the Valiant Brothers, Superfly Snuka in his prime, and Backlund, and superstar Billy Graham, and Andre the Giant. Great stuff. I used to go to the shows at the Comac Arena. They would have one on the last Friday of every month.
Yeah.
And you'd go in there, there's 2,000 people in there. They were all drunk and throwing M80s, and just pure pandemonium. And it to a T, every time I went to one of the shows, Baron Miguel Cicluna, who was always hiding the weapon under his arm, would get attacked by a fan. It was obviously, set up, but this fan would come out of nowhere with a wooden chair and hit this guy over the head.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just pandemonium. That was just
Because back then, like kayfabe, the inner secrets of the business were really kept strongly protected.
Yeah.
Like heels could actually be their character, and and people believed it, and there was a lot of authenticity with the shows. While nowadays it's just super kicks and backflips in the first 5 minutes of a opening match.
Right.
But that's for other episodes. So how'd you get started in acting?
Well, I was auditioning for TV shows back in my early 20s, and I kept getting turned away. You don't have the right look. Your hair isn't black. And I would go on these auditions, and after a while, you just get sick and tired of hearing no.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that on the back burner. And my
What shows were you auditioning for? Anything?
They weren't even titled. You was just standing in front of a casting director reading a monologue, a cold read monologue, whether it was comedy or a dramatic piece. I think one of the shows might have been a USA show, Silk Stalkings with Rob Estes and Mitzi Capture.
Yeah, it was actually on like Channel 2, I think, at like midnight on Friday nights, I think.
Yeah,
I remember that show.
Borderline shows where, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But my passion for it got reignited by seeing my kids do it. They started doing live theater, and that's where the South Shore Theater Experience in Lindenhurst. Check that out, guys. They do a great job with not only kid shows, but adult shows as well. I saw how much they loved it, and it reignited my passion for it. Mm-hmm. And back in 2008, I was starting a new job. I was starting a job at Bed Bath & Beyond in Westbury, and reported there for my first day. And I go into this training room, and there's 3 people in it. There's myself, there's this guy sitting in the middle, and there's a girl sitting on the left-hand side of the table. Mm-hmm. And this guy turns out to be David Wharton. And, we start talking. There was an instant connection between the two of us, and we started talking about what our likes are and our dislikes, and he said that he's a filmmaker. Mm. And I said, wow, David, that's really interesting.
Now, how long has he been in the business with making films? Like, was this something that he just got into at a later age, or was this a lifelong thing that he's been
knowing David is probably a lifelong thing. When he saw Jaws as a child, that's when he knew what he wanted to do.
Oh, I remember, because on set, he had the Jaws shirt, and
David is a Jaws fanatic.
Yeah, and a Prince
with good
fanatic,
reason.
too.
Yeah,
with
Prince,
yeah,
rest in peace, Prince.
Yeah.
I know yesterday, I think, was the year anniversary of Prince's death.
Right.
And
it's sad. The only memory I have of Prince, and he could probably agree with me on this, was the Dave Chappelle skit where he's playing basketball with Charlie Murphy.
Pancakes? Make some pancakes, yeah.
You want some pancakes, bitches?
My sister was a big Prince fan. I saw Purple Rain in the movie theaters.
Oh, my mother loved Prince.
Yeah, my mother too.
Yeah.
Great guitar player. I mean, just a super talented guy.
Sorry to cut you off
That's
here,
okay.
but you bring up Prince. I remember the Super Bowl where he did that halftime show that I went down in history. It was me, my mother, and my aunt. And my mother, for those who know me personally, she suffered with multiple sclerosis her entire life. And in her later years, she became more wheelchair bound and bed bound. And we're all in this in the den or the living room watching the Super Bowl. And my aunt knew who the halftime performance was, but my mom didn't know, and I didn't know because I didn't, usually it's some, pop artist like,
crap,
if you want to be my
Mariah
lover,
Carey,
whatever. So my aunt's like, said my mom, oh, you're going to love who the halftime performance is. Like, she had this big surprise brewing up, and I pulled my aunt aside like, who is it, and she goes, Prince. I'm like, really? She likes Prince? She goes, yeah, she loved Prince ever since she was a little girl. I'm like, oh, okay. So Prince comes out, and I guess my mom didn't recognize him from how he was in the Purple Rain, movie. Mm-hmm. But then once, he started singing his classic songs, I look over at my mom and she's singing along and enjoying it and
That's
everything.
great.
And it's amazing to see that, when you love the music that much, that you're that engaged into the,
It's amazing, yeah. It's great.
It really is. And it's one of my favorite memories of my mom. She passed away in June 2015, right. But, every time I think of Prince, I think of her. That's one of the main things that pop up.
A great reason to think of Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to David. You met him in...
Bed Bath & Beyond in Westbury.
Mm-hmm.
And David mentioned that he was a filmmaker. And I said, hey, listen, if you ever have any parts, throw me a script and I'd love to read for it. So he went to his store, I went to my store, and we kept in touch with each other. And he moved on from Bed Bath & Beyond to The Gap, and I stayed at Bed Bath & Beyond. And eventually, as most people in retail do, they get sick and tired of dealing with the public, and they move on to something else. So I moved on to something else, and David contacted me one day, and he said, I got this little script laying around, and I think you'd be perfect for this part. And I said, sure, send it to me. So he sends me a script in the mail, and it turns out to be the name of this film is called Trent and Isabella. And the part he was offering me was a hitman named Lou. And I read it, and instantaneously I said, this is going to be really good, and I want to do it. So I contacted David. I said, yeah, let's do it. And we started shooting in May of 2014. My scenes took 3 days, and the rest of the film took, if I remember correctly, another 2 weeks to do the basic photography. And then it took another year to do all the editing, sound, and cuts and whatever, because that's where all the real work is. You know, the people who, you know, act are, you know, performing on camera, but the real work is behind the scenes, you know, because that's where all the technical stuff is.
Right.
So,
like I can recall when we did The Night Sky together, that scene where we're all running away from the explosions, which, by the way, is where my favorite story with you comes up. But we'll get to that in a minute. The shoulder block on the
shoulder
street.
block, yep.
But I remember Dave was like, okay, we're shooting from this one angle, you know, ready, go. And we all act like we were running. He goes, okay, everybody back in the same spot, now from this angle, now from this angle. And we must have did like maybe 7 different angles.
Right.
And now he has the camera on the ground. We're doing the same thing, but
Yep.
the camera is on our feet. And
Yeah.
we're like, you know,
Yep.
other than that, I'm like, how many shots does this guy need? You
Yeah,
know?
you know, it's the scene in the room. I mean, the entire film might be like 6 or 7 minutes.
Trent and Isabella?
No, the Night Sky that we
Okay.
watched, and we were shooting that scene. That took about 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
Because you know you get your close-ups, you get your wide shot, you get the picture of the girl picking up the remote control.
Yeah.
That was done like 3 different angles and different hand movements and stuff. It's crazy.
Just do this.
Yeah, just to pick up a remote control. Yeah, because you want the shot to be right. You know, you want to get that shot, and it's amazing how much after the fact stuff goes into making pictures. So it took about a year to edit and cut, and then we debuted it in October of 2015 at the Belmont Movie Theater. It was sold out.
Really? The night sky?
No, just Trent and Isabella.
oh.
Yeah, the Night Sky is.
I'm losing track.
Yeah,
My
that's okay. No,
apologies.
that's all right. I left that out. So we did Trent and Isabella at the Belmont Movie Theater. That was sold out, and then we started needling David to do another premiere. And he didn't really want to do it. I think he wanted to just move on to something new. And I was giving him, the elbow, and his Barbara was giving, his wife Barbara was giving, yeah, let's do another one. So we did another one in February, and that sold out. And from that point on, we really had nothing going with Trent and Isabella. It was kind of, David was ready to move on, and we all were. And then out of the blue, he got an email from the New York City New Filmmakers Film Festival. We want to show Trent and Isabella in the city. So we went into the city in January of 2017, and it premiered in New York City.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
What was the outcome?
It was entered. I mean, it was up against so many films. It obviously didn't win, but you know what?
Any films with names, or were they all just as unknown?
Just all new filmmakers,
Okay.
New Filmmaker Society. But you know what? We had a movie shown in New York City,
Right.
which is pretty cool. A film that really didn't have any kind of budget, that just really had a great mix of people, super talented actors, great cameraman. Paul Del Vecchio does all of David's camera work, and David himself is a fantastic director. And it was such a gas to do. And another thing that David was getting harassed about was doing a prequel. So it looks like he's going to be writing a prequel to it, which we'll probably start filming in May of next year. So
Fantastic.
Trent and
that's
Isabella still has legs. I know he's going to enter it in the Long Island Film Festival in the summer.
Now, what's the plot behind Trent and
The
Isabella?
plot behind Trent and Isabella is the main characters, Trent and Isabella, work for this crime boss named Mr. Nelson, who was played by David Wharton. Guy's a maniac. He has them do a hit for him. And this guy, Trent, is so good at it, David doesn't want to let him go, but Trent wants to get out of the life. His girlfriend, Isabella, is expecting, and they want to just get their last big payday and move on. So Mr. Nelson doesn't want that to happen. He wants Trent to do more hits, and we wind up kidnapping Isabella and kind of force Trent to do a hit on a senator, and
Right.
it's really cool. My character of Lou is this sleazy, guy who'll do anything for his boss. Hopefully he does it right. If he doesn't, there's consequences because Nelson will kill anybody at the drop of a hat. And it's a lot of fun. I loved watching it. I still watch it to this day. So it's to me it has legs, and I think if it ever just got viewed by the right people, I think it could go somewhere. That's just my opinion. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
How long is that?
The film is just over an hour.
Oh, okay.
David was going to try to do full length, but another 30 minutes of filming probably would have put another 6 to 8 months into
Yeah.
production time. So he wanted to get it out and get it represented. So it was just a little bit over an hour.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
it's pretty cool.
Who were your? Do you have any influences when it comes to making movies and acting and whatnot?
I would say my favorite all-time actor is Mel Gibson. Before he went crazy.
Yeah. With the tapes.
To me, the epitome of a star is Mel Gibson in Braveheart. I mean, that is just. You can't get much better than that. I love Morgan Freeman. That voice is just fantastic. My kids love Morgan Freeman.
You ever seen Shawshank?
Oh, I can watch Shawshank Redemption every day, and there are
It's a
times
great
where
movie.
I do. That Goodfellas. I mean, you can't beat it. Scarface, which they're going to make a remake of.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope they're putting somebody good in Pacino's.
Did you see Rogue One? Star Wars Rogue One?
I did not.
I did.
The main male character is playing.
Okay.
Pacino.
He's got the look.
Yeah, he's got the look. Whether he could pull it off or
Right.
not, who knows? I mean, because that role that he did there was just epic.
You see, I always looked at classic films like that and wondered, would they ever do remakes? Scarface being one of them, but at the same time, could they make it as good as the original?
No, they
Usually
can't.
no, yeah.
Hollywood
Yeah.
is. I'm sorry. Hollywood is really running out of ideas.
Yes.
That's why
Yeah.
you're starting to see all these. Did Peter Jackson really need to remake King Kong? I mean, the original King Kong. I mean, they're gonna. They remade Ten Commandments. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Some things just should not be recreated
Yeah.
because they're perfect to begin with. There's already scuttlebutt about redoing Jaws. So I mean, come on, why bother? What do you need to do that for? Just how about have an original thought, put it on paper, and get it going. Remakes.
Well, it also seems like everybody has every idea. It's almost like coming up with gimmicks in wrestling. The guy goes, I was thinking of doing a doctor. There's plenty of doctor characters in wrestling. What about a cop? There's plenty of cop, characters in wrestling.
Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
The Big Boss
Yeah,
Man.
it's
exactly.
always it's usually the first one
Yeah.
that comes
Yeah,
to mind.
yeah.
What about
Absolutely.
a garbage man? Duke the
Big
Dumpster
Boss Man.
Joey.
Duke the- yeah.
What about
How about the Goon?
Oh, God.
The Goon and
Yeah. What about
Knuckleball Schwartz.
What
Yeah.
about a redneck? Well, there's Hillbilly Jim, Stone
Hillbilly
Cold
Jim,
Steve
yeah.
Austin, Bray
The
Wyatt.
Godwins.
Yeah.
Everybody, has something. I remember meeting Mark Henry in Queens. You heard of Mark?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely.
And I was still wrestling at the time, and I asked him, if he had any advice for somebody up and coming on the independents, and he said, "Look at history, because nobody owns anything." I like to think that applies to Hollywood with acting as well. Nobody exactly owns a certain thing.
That's true.
But there's plenty of twists. It's all about depends on how creative you are. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Trent and Isabella's coming in June. you
June on
said?
Facebook, yes, on the Dolphin Pictures website.
Okay, and that's facebook.com/dolphinpics.
Yep.
PICS.
Yeah,
or
we're all
PIX?
excited about it.
Okay.
I was trying to get David to see if he can get it on Netflix, but I don't know if anything ever happened with that. But yeah, we have that coming in June, and then he's home rehabbing a knee injury, so he's been writing. So we've got a short coming up, The House on Hilltop Drive, which is about a home invasion gone wrong. So I'm looking forward to do that, and he just did one with his.
Hey, if you need any extra parts, give me a call.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure there could definitely be something in the few, I would imagine.
I can play a convincing burglar, and I can act like a bitch. So if you
Can't we all?
Had me tied up. Like, no, no.
Don't do it, please. Leave me alone. Don't take the TV.
All right, we're not going to take the TV. Please don't put that electric wire on my nuts. What did Kane do to Shank Man with the car thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking of that. Okay, so that's still in production. Who else is involved with that besides David and Dolphin Pictures?
David,
and all that?
myself. I'm sure Paul will be doing the camera work. Paul Del Vecchio, who does tremendous work.
Are there any actors or actresses you've worked with that are not just in this film, but like in previous projects that you've done that you think deserve some recognition?
Absolutely. Mike Hentrich, who was in Trent and Isabella, will be in this. He's in all of David's features.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in Night Sky because he was on vacation. He's one of New York's finest, so love you, Mike. Fantastic actor. There's a scene in Trent and Isabella where he confronts me in the street, and when you see this guy, I mean, this guy is built like a brick shit house. This guy's a monster. And there's a scene where he grabs my arm, and we did this take for about 4.5 hours to get this shot of just him grabbing my arm. And his grip was so strong by the end of the day, where he was grabbing was black and blue.
Wow.
And this guy's a great guy, no egos, tremendous performer. He did a movie with myself and my daughter Sarah called Jingle Hell, which is on YouTube, which is also part of Dolphin Pictures. That Barbara was her first directorial debut, which is another short. And
it's on YouTube, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I have yet to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Where I play Mike's dad, which I'm old, but I'm not that old. But but it worked out because we.
Oh, you're at least 30.
Yeah, I'm old enough to know better, but young enough not to care. Right? So and my daughter Sarah was playing my daughter, which obviously is not a stretch. And it's Christmas time, and my son is this kid who just sits around and watches TV all day, and I'm being the
like most kids.
Like
Right.
most kids, yeah. But he's like 30, so I figure as the dad, I'm being a prick to him. Get out, do something, get off the freaking couch. Your legs are growing roots into the floor because you never move. And we're planning to go to this party, and everyone's going to dress up as Santa Claus. So I leave the house, and my daughter and him are on the couch, and they're talking, and she's saying how she has dreams about Santa Claus, entering the house and killing people because she thinks Santa Claus is creepy. And the premise of the film is everyone gets killed by Santa Claus. So it's pretty cool.
Now, is it all the same Santa Claus, or is it different people?
It's the same
Santa?
Santa Claus.
Okay. But there's numerous Santas, so they don't know which is which.
Well, it's each person leaves the room at a certain time, so you don't know who the killer is.
Right.
So I leave first, and I'm never seen again. And then Mike leaves, and he's never seen again. And then finally, it's just my daughter who gets killed at the end. And then you see this big, gigantic guy in a Santa Claus costume who was never on camera until the end. So you don't know who this guy is. But it came out really cool. So Barbara directed it, and I think she wrote it first. And then David's son, David Jr., got a hold of the script, and he hated it, and he rewrote it.
Oh wow!
So and he just did one with his father, his first directing debut called The Last Deal. So that's a short that's coming up as well. That's the next one David's going to release. That'll be complete.
And that'll be on YouTube as well, or
it'll probably be on YouTube or Facebook. It depends. Sometimes he puts them on Facebook. Sometimes they go on YouTube. So that'll be The Last Deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, this is the John Sawyer Show live on Strong Island TV. We have Greg Halverson in studio. Joe, I'm going to let you take over if you have anything, and we'll get right into talk of your upcoming live performances this summer.
Sounds good.
So I'm curious now. You tried acting in your 20s. You said, right?
Yeah.
Decided it wasn't working out.
Right.
Now you've gotten back into it.
Right. Love it.
You do. Is
Yeah.
is it something that you'd like to do more of, or is
Hell
it
yeah.
something that you're happy with the shorts and stuff?
Oh no! Believe me, if I could do shorts every day, I would. This for me is something that I want to pursue. I mean, it's late in the game for me, but you never know. It's something that you can be on a set for 10 hours and it'll feel like 10 minutes. You could be at work for 10 minutes and it feels like 10 hours. So if you're going to do something, you got to do something that you love. And yeah, you know what? I have never been paid for a role, and David offered me cash at the end of Trent and Isabella, and I turned it down. And I said, "Listen, your payment to me is putting me in your film."
Right.
And entertainment, it's in the
is
blood.
which is how every entertainer should think.
Right,
Up.
you know,
just
I
the
mean-
opportunity to do these gigs and get
Exactly,
their name
yeah.
out is just as good as a paycheck.
Yeah, no, to me, the rise I get out of doing it, I mean, look, I would do it for free. I did a background role for the Mysteries of Laura, and I was there at the Aqueduct Racetrack for like 14 hours. And I had to leave to go to my other job. I was doing an overnight. And the conditions were that if you leave, you don't get paid. So I spent 14 hours at Aqueduct Racetrack, never got paid for it.
Wow.
I don't care. I didn't care. Because there I was on NBC TV, standing right behind Deborah Messing.
Nice.
So it was great. And I didn't care if they paid me.
Nice.
You know, would I love to do this and get paid? Absolutely. Who wouldn't? But you know what? You know, the films, the theater, the rise you get out of entertaining, and you could speak for being in front of a live audience. I mean, is there any greater feeling than being in front of a live audience?
Not at all.
I mean, it's just tremendous.
Yeah.
The-
Just not only that, but the fact that these people paid to come see this
Right.
production,
Yep.
and you're one of the reasons why they're there.
Right.
You know, there's nothing in the world that can beat that.
Correct.
You know,
Absolutely.
nothing.
Yep,
Nothing.
absolutely.
So you have some live events coming up for theater at the. I have to pull it up for the name.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
That's it. South Shore Theater. Yep.
South Shore Theater Experience
Correct.
in Lindenhurst.
Yep.
And it'll start this summer. Tell us about it.
They have a summer show that is written by their resident playwright, Chris Hackert, who writes absolutely brilliant material. We did his show last summer called Walter's Wish that sold out 9 shows, 45 people in a room about this size. Hysterical. And the guy has just got such great comedic writing ability. And this new play, I just learned the title of it is called the Taco Palace Incident. I could only imagine what this is going to be about.
It's a great title.
And knowing this guy and how funny and clever he is and how brilliant his writing is, this thing's going to be a gas. So when it comes out, guys, check it out on the South Shore Theater Experience website for the dates. Come see it. I guarantee you will laugh. And there's nothing better than laughing.
Yeah.
And then in August, usually in late July or early August, they do summer one-acts, which are all comedy as well. I love doing comedy. And a summer one act is usually like a 7 to 12 minute skit. And it's separate skits, and they do like 10 skits in one show.
Right.
So they just roll them out one after another. So that's what I'm looking into for the summer as far as theater is concerned. And then the theater will start its fall season in September, and more live theater. It's great.
So what's the website people can go to for
South
more
Shore
information?
Theater Experience .com, Lindenhurst, New York. Check it out, guys. It's right on Montauk Highway, across from the Lindcrest Diner. Great stuff.
Lindcrest.
Yeah, Lindcrest Diner.
Yes, not to be confused with the Lindenhurst Diner,
Right, 'cause
which
there's
is
two
down
of
the
them.
road.
Yeah.
Yes, which caused
Yeah.
problems in my family one time.
Exactly, yeah.
Because they told me to go to the Lindenhurst Diner.
and
I'm looking up directions to Lindenhurst Diner, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you make a right on Montauk Highway."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you make a left on Montauk Highway."
Yep.
And I get there, and they're like, and I'm like, "Where are you?" She's like, "At the Lindenhurst Diner." I'm like, "Look at the sign."
Yep.
Oh.
Lindcrest. Everyone remember that. Lindcrest, not Lindenhurst.
All right.
And it's in the old Bauer Elementary School. It's right on the left-hand side of Montauk Highway. It's great. We just finished a 9-show run of Gypsy there. Thankfully, I did not sing, so singing is out of the question. But
Well, there could be autotune.
that's true. Yeah,
They could pre-record it with autotune and
voiceover maybe. And
Yeah.
I'm interested in voiceover too. I graduated from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting back in 1997.
Would you like a seat on the show?
No, you guys are much better at it than I am. Trust me. And anything really entertainment-wise, I'm interested in it. But the acting is, that's in my blood, and it's something I love to do.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, keep at it because you are fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. So are you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what do you enjoy more, on the stage or doing the movies?
I think about that all the time. To me, like I said to John, there's no greater feeling than getting in front of a live audience. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. but they're here to see performances. And when you walk out on that stage, you know what? You're on your own, and you better have your shit together.
Yeah, it really wires out who
Yes.
can actually do it and who can't.
Yep,
You know, because
yep.
I've seen some theater performances where of people who have no business doing it, trying it out,
Yeah.
and you can see them flumping it.
Yep.
You know, it's just like watching a wrestler, cut a promo. That's when they talk on the mic, who can't cut a promo and
Right.
have no business picking up a mic.
Yeah,
you know?
and most of those guys who can't cut the promos never make it because they're selling the personality a
Right.
lot of the time in wrestling.
It's like that one question Dusty Rhodes used to always ask up and comers: "Where's the money?" You got to sell them on something,
Yep.
and it's not just with wrestling moves.
Right. It's the personality, it's the image, it's the way you speak, and the theater for me is, I have a ritual that I go through before every show. I carry that script with me everywhere I go, and I read it. And when my part comes on, I just look at my first line, and then I go out and do it, and I know I'm gonna get it right. And the thing with it is, you just have to remember to always make sure that you feed your fellow actor his or her cue. You could, screw up the middle portions of it, but get the first line right and get the cue right.
Right.
Then you're golden. But to me, the film is, I enjoy the film a lot more because it's just, I don't know, it just makes, I don't know, so much, I don't know, it's just more my style, basically. I love the theater, don't get me wrong, I love doing it, and it's a gas, but the film is the greater love. There's no doubt about that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you have any social media you want to plug so people can contact you?
Yeah, you can look on Facebook, my acting page, Greg Halverson, Foxland Productions, Facebook. Check it out. I just started to promote it, so it's getting a lot more likes. Promoting the posts I put on it. I just posted the opening scene in Trenton Isabella, and it has over 3,000 views. So,
All right.
taking it day by day and see how it goes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and the door is always open for you
Great.
to come back. We will definitely have a part 2 to this
Yeah,
because
love to.
obviously time went by too quickly.
It did go fast.
Yeah, it did.
It really
yeah.
did.
Yeah. So thank you again. Joe, you have anything?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Good show tonight.
And
Great job.
as always, we'd like to thank you guys at home for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week. I have no clue who's going to be on with us, but if you tune in, you'll find out. He's at EvilJoe3 on Facebook and Twitter. I am at John Sawyer93 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My buddy Greg over here is what? At Greg Fox on Twitter or something like that?
Greg Halverson at Foxland Productions.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, yes.
Okay, so that's the info you need to find him. I'm John Sawyer. He's Joe Herb, and you are not. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.